Hi there, it's Neil from Small Business Big Ideas with day 15 of my small business marketing tips. Following on from the theme of the last couple of days, which is all about networking, this is quite a simple one, which is introducing yourself to other business owners. So there's a load of different ways that you can do that, from the very basic, which is going next door and introducing yourself. If you don't already know the business next door or in your street, then that absolutely makes sense. It doesn't need to be anything more formal than that. Excuse me, itchy nose. There are obviously other slightly more formal ways of introducing yourself. I am a fan and an advocate of networking in all its various different guises. I'm speaking here from the UK, so we have a number of networking organisations which are national, such as BNI and For Networking, and then there are likely to be lots of little sort of independent regional networking groups, some good, some bad, in your own town and city. I'd strongly recommend you get out and try them out. Some of them are free forever. Some of them require you to pay for a meal or a breakfast or something like that. Some of them do require you to sort of join and pay a subscription. I think there's value in going along, checking each of them out. More often than not, even the ones that do make you pay something or join up, you get to go a couple of times as a visitor. I think obviously you can't dismiss cost, because cost does mount up, but you should consider time when having a look at what networking meeting is going to fit in with your business life and your personal life. You know, some people can do early mornings, others can't. Some people can do lunch appointments, or others prefer networking in the evening, and there's bound to be something which fits. I think as important as that, and as important as the cost, is what's the environment like? Is there a fit? As I say, there are various different types of networking organisations out there. Some are very structured and more formal. Some are the complete opposite, which is no structure at all. It's basically just a big bun fight in a room, and you're just made to engage people in conversation. Some people like that, some people don't. Others prefer a little bit more structure to it. And it's really a case of finding out what fits and suits you best. Little bit of a plug. I'm a member of and sort of a team member of For Networking, which is a national networking organisation here in the UK. For me, I just think that there's a fit in that it's a little bit more relaxed than some, but then there is some structure to it, so that you do get an opportunity to do your 40-second pitch, which I spoke about in yesterday's video. You do get to have 3 10-minute appointments, and there is a structure to the meeting every week, so it's not just like a free-for-all. But then some people find that a little bit too informal. Others prefer the more structured BNI approach. Some people just don't like anything particularly formal at all, and just prefer the free-for-all. So there's likely to be a networking organisation or a networking meeting close to you which fits you and fits in with your business and your lifestyle. And I certainly say get along there and try them all out. It might take a little bit of an investment in time and potentially a little bit of money, but you will get the rewards. One thing just to say about networking, I think a lot of people mistakenly think that you go along, you go on with your bump and your business cards, and you thrust them into as many hands as possible, and it's only going to work if you come away there and then with an order or a meeting. and in my experience of having done networking in various guises the last 15 years or so, it rarely works like that. Sometimes you do land on your feet and someone has got an immediate need, but as is the case generally, a very small percentage of people are sitting there ready to buy at any one point in time, and this is absolutely true with networking. It's a slow burn, and it's a slow burn because people need to get to know you, to like you and trust you before they either commit to do business with you themselves, or more likely before they feel comfortable recommending you to people within their extended network. Because I think even the biggest networking meetings will only have tens of people in the room, be it 20, 30, 40, or the bigger ones might have slightly more. The power of networking, in my opinion, or one of the greatest powers, is the fact that once you build the relationships with people in your networking group, then they go out and act as your sort of secret salespeople, and you'll find leads coming from people introduced by people you've met at the networking. So that's one thing. I think it would be appropriate at this stage to talk about LinkedIn, because having had a look at the list of 101 marketing tips, there is one point later on about advertising on LinkedIn, which I'll cover off in more depth, but in my experience, advertising in LinkedIn is not the greatest idea, just because compared to other forms of social media advertising, it's incredibly expensive. But LinkedIn is very, very powerful in terms of getting you out there and being able to allow you to network with people locally and nationally using LinkedIn. I'm a massive, massive fan of LinkedIn. You need to do it properly. You shouldn't go out there spamming people and just sending lots of buy my stuff messages to them. And even before you do start introducing yourself, you need to spend some time making sure that your LinkedIn profile is as bright and shiny as possible, and has got as much information on you, on what you can do, has got some videos and testimonials and recommendations, and it's written in a way that appeals to your potential buyer. It's not all about me, it's about you. So I think whether I cover it off later on as part of the tip on LinkedIn advertising or not, you really need to get on top of LinkedIn. At its most basic level, it's free. If you're really using LinkedIn a lot on a daily basis, and it is one of your key business generation tools, then you'll probably end up having to pay something for it every month, which isn't the cheapest, but I suppose it all depends on whether you get a positive return on investment in terms of the leads that it brings in. I could talk for hours about LinkedIn, and I'm not sure that this is the best time to do so. I might record a separate video on LinkedIn, and I'll cover off some of the key LinkedIn points when I talk about it later on in the list. But yeah, so getting yourself out there, introducing yourself to other business owners. So whether that's just locally in your town, making a point of wandering in to other businesses and saying hello. I mean, one of the things which I had a great deal of success with in my property business was making sure that I was known and liked and trusted by all of the local solicitors and financial advisors and the like. And I used to make a point of catching up with them and also delivering them both by email and in person, interesting content about the property market. And that was, in my experience, a very, very valuable use of my time, because then they would refer business to me from people who were buying properties to rent out or selling them, and potentially one of my investors could buy it. And it was just a really useful way of getting leads to come through, but it didn't happen overnight. I needed to build the trust with the likes of the solicitors and the financial advisors and the accountants, so that they knew, firstly, that I knew what I was talking about, and secondly, they would have a degree of trust that, you know, if they did refer someone, then they would get a positive experience and a positive service. So definitely get yourself out there. You'll know the sort of people who might be in your town who will be dealing with the same sort of customers as you do, and you know, I would, on a piece of paper, write down the sort of businesses that might deal with your customers either before you get them or after you get them, because often if they are in the same sort of chain, then that's a good way of introducing yourself and building a business relationship to get referrals for each of your businesses. So yeah, get yourself out there. If it's just a case of introducing yourself, or more formally through local networking groups or through the likes of LinkedIn, then you should make getting yourself known within your area and within your industry as a key priority. So that's it for today's tip. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, bye.